Debate gives students a chance to take the information they are given and form it into their own opinion. Thus, the lesson goes much further than just what is written on the page of a textbook. If students were given the opportunity to be on a debate team, I believe that they would acquire skills as well as knowledge that they can't always get in a classroom situation. But beyond that, I believe that a debate team would equip these students with skills that they could use for the rest of their lives. It would teach them to form an opinion, but most importantly, it would give them a voice. Thank you.
We couldn't resist throwing in that coda to your appreciation for our work. We have wanted to develop the debate program over the last 3 years and got word that because of the budget there are some stresses going on, but we hope that somehow this can be pulled off for next year. Thank you for inviting us. We're very proud of our students, and we hope we do well by the school and community. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll give the students a few minutes to leave the room. Are your students here? Yes.
That one. Oh, yeah.
And now we'd like to ask our 2 middle school students to come up to the podium and brief us on what's going on in the middle school.
Hi, my name is Gabby Raymond.
And my name is Eva Mealy.
And we're here to talk on behalf of the Middle School Student Council.
To start, the scholastic winners have been announced. In our middle school, there were 9 honorable mentions and 3 silver keys. The 3 winning silver keys are me, Eva Mealy, William Stidell, and Haley Fawcett.
The honorable mentions are Maddie Bovey, Jonna Freeman, Justin Garrett, Mo LaValle, Brittany Newman, Lily Norris, Katie O'Sullivan, and McKenna Wood.
That is exceptionally better than many schools, and it is a great accomplishment.
Recently, our school participated in the Maine Youth Integrated Health Survey. It was a short survey questioning the students on such things such as drugs and alcohol use.
Now, congratulations to Lily Jordan. She succeeded in the Cumberland County Spelling Bee and will be moving on now to the state.
As for sports, swimming and indoor track have recently begun.
Lastly, in November, Mrs. Caruso's class sent a care package to Christian McGill's father, Adam McGill, as a Thanksgiving tree.
They sent...
He's a soldier.
He's a soldier in Iraq. They sent Oreos, gum, and the book Decision Points, peanut butter, Cape Elizabeth postcards, cards, and movies.
Just now, we have received something from Mr. McGill. We received an Iraq dinar, which is Iraqi money, a piece of tile from Saddam Hussein's Victory Over America Palace, which was received while Mr. McGill was touring the palace.
An Iraq flag patch, a patch from the U.S. police mission in Iraq, and many photographs, and a wonderful flag and plaque.
And that's all for tonight. Thank you.
And now I'm going to turn the meeting over to Ken Murphy,
All right.
our interim superintendent.
I should forewarn you, the microphones that are in front of you will pick up any side conversations. So if you have any snide comments about the superintendent's presentation, it will be on record. But in any event, I want to start by thanking and acknowledging the outstanding work that members of the district leadership team have provided in the development of the recommended budget. They've hit their established targets and, more importantly, the spirit in which they went about their work was indeed impressive. So special kudos to members of the district leadership team. And I think we need an extra drum roll tonight for Pauline. As you know, she's the lead architect for us on this project. And this year she's had an extraordinary complex task of getting me up to speed on how we do things around here. So thank you, Pauline. In fact, we're going to start with Pauline tonight because I know you all picked up your budget books last Thursday or Friday, and I know you've been immersed in them and you know everything that's in there. But what we thought would be important tonight is for Pauline to quickly walk you through how the budget book is organized. And if you have any clarity questions, it would be important to ask them right now. It's not going to be long. It's just I want us to all be on the same page about what's in the budget book and what's not. So,
Okay, this will be a very brief walk through the budget book just to let you know what the format is. It's a little different than it was last year. The first section, if you open it up, you have the superintendent's narrative. On page 2, you have the summary page that lists our expenditures, our total expenditures, and our revenues for 2011 and 12. On page 3 is a summary of accounts. And when you look down at the list of departments, the first 2 are salaries and benefits, and you'll notice that your first tab in your book is salaries and benefits. And as you go down the list, you'll have a tab for every department that's listed there. Pond Cove, middle school, high school, Office of the Superintendent, and so forth. If you go down this list, you have a tab for all of those departments. And in those departments, you will have the narrative from the administrator, and then a list of their separate accounts that they're in charge of. That will be listed there. The salaries and benefits you will see on the first page is the staff listing for all employees in the school department, and then the detail of salaries and benefits in all of our accounts. And this is only salaries and benefits. It does not include supplies and other items. After all of those departments, there is a tab that says Other, and you will see in that tab the enrollment history and projection for 11 and 12. After that, you will see Community Services with Janet's narrative and detailed budget. And then the last tab is the special funds. Any federal monies that we receive or other funds that we are fiscal agents for are in the last tab. So if you have any questions on that. Yes.
I noticed there was no narrative for health services this year, and usually there is. Is there a reason that we didn't get a report from the nurses?
No, we did not have a narrative for health services this year.
probably my mistake. Any other clarity questions? Okay, as most of you know, I've been on this crash course trying to learn as much as possible about Cape Elizabeth and the school system. And I've met with individuals, and I've met with groups and teachers and town councilors and parents. And though I didn't have a question about budget would invariably come up in my conversations about the school system or about the community. And I thought I'd just share with you to start. Maybe you're in a way, Greg. Is that possible? Okay. I thought I'd share with you some of the three major themes that seem to dominate the conversation that I had with people when they started talking about budget. I mean, the first thing that comes up is people wanted a budget that reflects the current economic climate. In other words, it would not be a year for the superintendent to come in and recommend a 10% increase in the budget. I mean, that was the message that people had whenever they started talking about budget. But interestingly enough, on sort of the opposite end of the continuum, they wanted to make sure that we maintain the resources needed to support a top-quality school system. I think almost everybody I talked with recognized that this is a special school system, and they wanted to see what makes this school system special maintained. The third thing that came up, and this was mostly from people who were not connected with the school system, they really wanted to see a budget that was simplified and clarified. Sometimes it's very difficult to make sense out of a school budget the way we put it together. And I'll let you be the judge how well I've done with number 3. But I'm going to start with a slide that I think accommodates all 3 interests. The recommended budget, I think, does reflect the current economic conditions that surround Cape Elizabeth, that surround the state, that surround the nation even. It's a very modest increase that I'm recommending. Though it's a modest increase, it does maintain the programs that make this a top-notch school system. And that's about as simple as I can make it. Last year, we had a budget of $20,676,971. We're recommending tonight a budget of $21,124,690. That's an increase of $447,719, or 2.2%. For those of you who are residents of Cape Elizabeth and pay property taxes, that recommended budget would increase your property taxes 1.9%. On a median-priced house, that will mean, is it $85?
Yes, $85.18.
An $85 increase. So sort of put that into perspective. It's a lot of money, but to put it in perspective, it would translate into an $85 increase in property taxes. So, next thing I want to do is I want to skip this, is what I want to do, and come back to it later. I just want to review the 16 major accounts that make up the school budget. And we are also responsible, as you know, for community services. And let me start with community services. You're going to hear from Janet in a moment. But Janet is requesting the same town appropriation as she requested last year. We spend about $1 million, a little bit more than that, on community services. The town appropriates, I think, around $185,000. So community service is not going to have any impact on property taxes. And Janet will tell you a little bit more about her budget in a few moments. But with the school budget, I want to start with the 2 accounts. That's where all the money is in school budgets. It's in salaries and benefits. That makes up 80% of the school budget. We employ 280 people, 159 teachers, 8 administrators, and the rest are support staff. That's where all the money is, and that's what makes this school system go, 80%. I should mention that those 2 lines would be much higher, but we have a tentative agreement with our Teachers Association that calls for a very modest salary increase for teachers. If we didn't have that tentative agreement, though we haven't worked out all the details yet, but if we didn't have that agreement, those accounts would probably be up another $200,000 to $300,000. So I want to acknowledge and express my appreciation for the teachers' willingness to work with us and do what's in the best interest of the school system. What I want you to pay attention to tonight is this column over in here, because that's comparing apples to apples. We receive quite a bit of federal stimulus money, and we use that money to offset expenses that we had in salary and benefits.